Hey guys, Picatoy here, and today I'm going to show you on how I set up my diorama for the Sentinel versus X-Men and some of the superheroes that I got from Marvel Legends, because I don't have a complete X-Men team, so I just use classic Iron Man and Captain America and Spidey and Wolverine and Cyclops. So I'm very poor, so I only got those few cans of Marvel Legend action figures. But yeah, hopefully I'll get more, and I'll get the classic ones, the cartoon ones. Right, so I'm going to show you on how I set up the scene. So I have 3 lights, right? I usually use this setup. So that's how my diorama setup goes. So I have this camera here which has a Wi-Fi function, and if you turn on your Wi-Fi on your phone and connect to your camera, and you'll see the screen on your phone. And what I do is I set my f-stop to 4.5, so there won't be much blurring on some of the action figures. It's almost like a flat shot, not much DOF, depth of field. And ISO is 3200. That's f-stop is f4.5, and then shutter is 15. So it's pretty good if you do it this way, because you're gonna have more control and you won't shake the camera when you click the shutter button. So it's like a remote shutter, just using your phone. So alright, so we're gonna take the shot now. I'm gonna push this button here, which I'm already satisfied with my lights. So as you can see, it takes the shot, and that's the preview of my shot, which is the main source of my image. And later on I'm going to move the lights, one of the lights from this one here, the RGB from Ulanzi. So it's a portable RGB light which you can control the hue and saturation and the brightness of it. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to relight, add some additional lights on my scene using this Ulanzi RGB light. So we're going to set up on Cyclops, because the Sentinel, we're going to trying to shoot a laser beam on Cyclops. Instead of those tentacle ones, I just want to improve it with some laser beams instead of the tentacle, just like in the cartoons. So so I can add some more interesting flares on this area here, in that area. Okay, and then I'm gonna change this light to maybe red. So as you can see, Cyclops has some reddish tint there. Lights going through Cyclops. And one thing before you do this, you have to be very, very careful not to touch your action figures. That's very important, because you are compositing in Photoshop. You don't want to mess it up. It has to be the same position and the same angle. The lights are okay because you can just add in Photoshop and do some mode in it, which I'll show you later on. So I'm going to change this light now to maybe a little bit warmer. Right. So as you can see, it's throwing. I'm going to position the light somewhere around here. Alright. And then it's going to cast a light to Cyclops and also to Captain America. Alright, so I'm gonna bring my phone near me so I can shoot the shutter. But before that, I'm just gonna drop down the camera because I couldn't click the shutter without using my other hand. Right? So I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna set aside. Alright, hope you can see it. Let me just put it on another stand, and this one here, so it's stable enough. And just remove this and this. Sorry about that. It might take a while, but this one will show you some bits on how I do the lighting. Alright, so I'm gonna put this lighting here and then see how this one looks on my phone. Alright, so my camera, this camera is blocking the way, so I'm just gonna set it aside. Wait a minute. Let me just grab something. Yeah, that one. Right. That's nice. Alright, that angle is good. So I'm gonna put it here, and then I'm gonna take a pic again. So I'm gonna take a picture again with this one. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway. Yeah, so I'll take another picture. Oh, wait. Okay. So I'm taking the picture. Let me just lower the shutter so that I'll have less light, because I want to compose this one in Photoshop so it won't overburn or overexpose the lighting hitting Cyclops and Captain America. So I'm going to change a bit the color to more warm, a little bit like a fire, and then less. Take another pic. Maybe turn the shutter higher. Alright, so we're now done. Momo, what are you doing? So we're now done with the laser beam going through Captain America and Cyclops. So what I'm going to do is I'll put another, because Cyclops will backfire with his laser beams. So I'm going to put this one here just to add some casting on the Sentinel, right? So that will add some red color casting to the Sentinel and to Wolverine, both of them, right? And then next I'm going to change the color to maybe something blue, maybe something blue. Green, something menacing color. Red, I already got the red, so maybe blue just to add some highlights on the Sentinel, just a little bit. So I'm going to take a picture now. I'm just going to drop it, put this one underneath the diorama, the bottom. Anyway, I move a little of the props, but that's all good. Right, so I'm going to take a picture now. So what happens is it casting now some blue on the Sentinel and some on the action figures underneath, like Iron Man here, right? And then we might need to add some castings around here, this side here, so that we can tweak in Photoshop, show some more lights showing on the Sentinel's face and Wolverine. Right. That's good. And then we're going to add one more or two or three more lights. Yep, so we're going to change this one. We're going to highlight more the Sentinel so that it will pop up in the scene, even though he's already big. Let's see. Yeah, I think purple would be nice, and also casting to Iron Man. Right. I'm not sure if you can see it, but is that my hand? Alright, yeah. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter if my phone's going to be shown on this side, because I'm just going to cast some lights to Iron Man and to the Sentinel, right? So just going to take this off, put my lights underneath Iron Man, take a picture. Maybe lower down more the shutter just to lessen the exposure a bit. Right, so next we're going to cast some red lights at the back of the Sentinel. Even though I already got that one before on the first shot. Now let's see. So I'm going to cast a red a red light at the back. Something like that. So it will cast on Wolverine and the Sentinel. Add some more reflections to it. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this one. That one. I'm not sure if it's too visible, but yeah, that's how it looks with the highlight in. And then we're just gonna change the mode in Photoshop into lighten mode on that layer, and then erase the RGB portable light. And then what else? Maybe we'll add more green. Let's try some greens. Again, just be careful not to hit your action figures or props, because it's going to change the whole scene and it won't work when you compose it in Photoshop. You're going to see some ghosting. Alright, let's see if we can use the green. It's not cast on the... Careful not to touch Spider-Man there. I did a version where I moved the Spider-Man and it adds some motion blur, but it's impossible to give him different kinds of directional lights. Let's see what will look on this shot. So I'm going to highlight also Deadpool here. See Deadpool? Deadpool's around there. His head together with the Punisher. They're all dead, but Deadpool is mutant, so he's all good. He's gonna ask some help to the X-Men. But I think Punisher doesn't have any superpowers, so he's already dead. No chance of survival. So I might add some. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a light in front of these guys here, because I'm limited to my 3 portable lights. So I'm just gonna add, use still this one. Just gonna add fill light just in case I need more light in Photoshop. Right? So the reason why the camera was beside, because it's hitting on my shot. It's blocking on my shot. So let's see. So now I'm using just a bright light. And let's see how this one looks. Alright, so that's how it looks with a bright light. Later on I'm gonna record the voice of the Sentinel, because he has some nice voice modes that I can use for Instagram. I'm not sure how to highlight Iron Man. Well, let's see. We can highlight Iron Man. Maybe from the back. Yeah, I might need to add some lights on Iron Man's back, even though he has a little bit of DOF. I can put some little fire at the back of him just to add some flares and some fire sparkles to it. Might need to change the color to red, to yellow red or something. Okay, that's good. Then maybe add a blue highlight on Iron Man just beside on his corner. So this diorama usually takes a lot of time. It's not just a point and shoot diorama. There, there's more highlight now to Iron Man. And I might add also to Cyclops. Yeah. The blue one looks pretty nice. So I'm just going to add it here. Yeah, I don't have any tripod for you guys to see what I'm doing, so let me just change the position. Maybe I can show you how I did it better. No, that's not good. Maybe, wait, zoom in more. Alright, let me change the angle, at least that box is not blocking the way. I don't have an extra tripod, so bear with the shot. Hopefully the camera doesn't fall off. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to add a blue light to casting to, not blue, this one doesn't. So there are some RGB lights that doesn't work with RGB colors, that doesn't work with blue tone colors, textures from action figures. So you need to play around for some of the hue. Maybe green. Yeah, that one's nice. Now let's try another red, because we're gonna put some fire at the back of Cyclops. Or some yellow, something yellow. Yeah, I think the highlight works. Alright, so yeah, doing this kind of diorama photography takes time. It's maybe around 2 hours to prepare, and then another 1 hour of Photoshop or 30 minutes. Depends on how many shots you need. Like for this shot, so 1 hour to prepare or 2, depends on if you're busy or not. Maybe just 1 hour, but setting up the angle of each characters is very important, that you're not blocking the shots and the angle of the, like Wolverine, like his claw, it's not too awkward on the shot and it doesn't go to waste his action pose. And like Captain America here, you need to adjust. This one doesn't have any stand, but he's standing perfectly on the props, which I've adjusted a little bit. And also Cyclops standing on this concrete here. And then I have to adjust the Sentinel's pose to this one, which is a little bit tricky because he's a little bit heavy. And Wolverine is on top, which he doesn't have any glue or sticky tape in it, which he sits down perfectly. But as you can see on my shot, he's already over my diorama here. So I have to put another diorama column concrete there, just not to add more Photoshop work for me. Later on I'm gonna crop this area here and there. Right? I'm just gonna turn on the lights so you can see much better. Okay, so I'm doing it on our kitchen benchtop, so it's pretty messy, as you can see the setup. My wife's gonna kill me. Like that. So these are drag and drop props. You can just move the walls and the road, that ground there, everything is a drag and drop. There's nothing fixed to it. So those are the blocking the wall there, not to move or for leaning. So Spider-Man here, I'm gonna Photoshop his web later. That one, I'm gonna remove him from the shot. And I'm using this one here, the clamp, to add or use for superheroes that you want to fly or jump on your scene. And what else? Yeah, so all the props here are pretty movable, but I won't be moving it for now because I'm still gonna take some shots later on, because I'm gonna remove Spider-Man here so I can mask. I can see the background, the back of Spider-Man, and mask him out. Right? So Iron Man here, classic Iron Man, pretty cool. I love this suit. So I added some panel, black and dark brown panel lines, just to add some dirt to my action figures. Just careful not to touch the poses. See, even their faces have some dirt. And also Punisher and even Deadpool. Deadpool is Revoltech. I don't have the Deadpool Marvel Legends yet. I'm looking to buy the old Deadpool, the original one. So my collections are really limited because I'm choosing each Marvel Legends to be perfectly well modeled, like perfectly done. I just don't buy those random all year Hasbro has released a lot of versions of Wolverine or something, or Cyclops or Spider-Man. So maybe I will buy 2 or more or 3 Spider-Mans, but the best ones. So far the Iron Man, oh no, the Captain America, this one I really like. I really like this Captain America. In terms of poses, he can pose a lot. The only thing about Hasbro is, if they're listening now, they should put a joint on the foot, which just like McFarlane toys, they already have those. Like the one Hasbro also got one, but only on the 12-inch toys they got, like Wolverine and Hulk. But for the 6-inch action figures they always have this foot which is not so good in posing. It's a little bit awkward if they're walking. I hope they put an ankle joint, foot joint there, so that you can just, do more nice poses. So I like Wolverine here, slushing, wants to rip off the Sentinel's head, right? So we're almost done with the lighting. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to remove Spider-Man. Let me turn off the lights. I'll turn off, put that on. Then I think I'm gonna add more lighting here. Let's see. So I'm bringing my phone wherever I go because that's my shutter. All right. So let me see if I can add more lights just to give me options before I ruin this diorama. Because once you remove some of the props, it's gonna be impossible to put it back. It's the same as before. Alright, so I'm just adding some highlights, additional highlights, or other angle highlights that I might think that is better than before. So took a lot of photos as pretty much as you can for compositing in Photoshop. You can even turn off the side lights like this one here, and then just turn on the main light, which is this one here. Let's turn it off. And let's turn this off. So it's just gonna be a blue light from the top, which is pretty dark. It looks pretty dark, but it's good for compositing. And then we're just going to add I'm just going to add a fill light here, maybe further right. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done with the lighting. I'm just gonna put the lights back on and then remove Spider-Man. And that way I still have that light as before in the first place. So let's see, let's take another shot. Right, so I'm gonna remove Spider-Man now. Actually, I'm gonna turn this one on. Hey! I'm gonna bring up the shutter. Oh, okay, so that was almost the same as the original before. And now I'm gonna take the shot again without Spider-Man. Taking out Spider-Man just to see, so I can remove this one. No, baby's crying. Oh no. Hey. Momo. So I'm gonna take a shot now. They're playing, the dogs are playing, so it's pretty noisy. So that's without Spider-Man. Hey! I said no. No. Hey. Sorry about that. So yeah, so that's without Spider-Man. It's a mess around here, so my wife's gonna kill me after this. Alright, so I think we're done, but I would like to take a shot from this angle here, because I've seen a lot of diorama photography, but they don't have some specific angles that are looking down or something, because it's pretty hard to make a big diorama setup. So I want to take a shot on this. I'm not sure if I can do it, but let's see how it goes. I might need to take a tripod around here and put it on stand so I can just control the shutter through my phone. Right, so that's it, guys. I hope you learned something on how I set up my scene and some tips and tricks for your diorama photography. So it will look more cinematic than just one or two lights. But yeah, with the effects in Photoshop, it will look more badass than just an ordinary photo. Right? So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Thanks.